Hey y'all, welcome to Adventures with Aggie, brought to you by the Ryan Martin Foundation. Today we have another episode of our series featuring the United States Power Soccer Association. We're featuring Riley Johnson, and he's going to tell us about the power of power soccer. Please welcome Riley. Riley, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. I'm excited to meet you. Can't wait to learn more about you and your story. But first, can you just kind of give us some background on who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I'm Riley Johnson. I'm an athlete in power soccer. I play for the U.S. national team, and I'm also the Eastern Regional Director for the organization USPSA. So
Cool. Awesome. So how did this become your sport? How did you discover power soccer?
I was at an expo, disability expo in Minnesota. So I'm originally from Minnesota. I live in Indiana now, but there's an expo in Minnesota, and I think they had, different adaptive bikes and everything. That was cool. And then they had this demonstration of power soccer, and they let me put a guard on and kick a ball around on my chair. And that's really how I got involved with it and found out about it. And the moment I hit the ball, I was like, oh yeah, I like this. This is something. Because I had tried, other sports like wheelchair basketball. Then I couldn't shoot or do anything. So this is a sport where I was like completely independent. So that's how I got involved. Yeah.
I love that. I love that you tried a bunch too and then landed here and now you're killing it. It's super exciting.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know. How would you describe power soccer to somebody who maybe has never seen it before or they've never participated, don't have any kind of expectation? How would you describe the sport?
I would describe it as very fast and competitive, depending on what level you want to be involved. But it's played on a basketball court. It's 4-on-4, all power chairs, and yeah, it's pretty fast. Lots of quick passing and very highly strategic game. So depending on how involved you want to get into it, it can get very strategic and tactical. So yeah.
For sure. I love watching it. I think it's so cool. Like I said, I was only introduced to this a few weeks ago, and now I find myself doing all kinds of research and watching different videos and stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. It's so cool. But I guess backtracking a little bit into your story, when did you realize that you needed sport in your life? Like you said, you tried different ones, you ended up at power soccer, but I guess, how did you know that you wanted sport to be your thing?
Well, my family was always involved in sports. The first casts I got after surgeries I had were Vikings colors, Minnesota Vikings. So my parents always kind of put sports on me, not forcingly, but they kind of encouraged it. They were sports in high school, and so my sister was involved in sports. My brother is. So it's kind of just a family thing, and that's how I really knew I needed it. Everybody else is doing it, so.
For sure. That's funny. When I see Minnesota Vikings colors, I think of LSU because I'm from the South.
Oh yeah.
Gold. I just would have assumed you're a huge LSU fan. I love it. Okay, cool. Let's go back to power soccer for a little bit. Can you kind of tell us, I guess you're on the national team, can you guide us through like a typical training session for somebody who's kind of just starting out or maybe doesn't know anything about how you would train for this?
Yeah, the first thing would be finding a local team. That's going to be your easiest route. So going on a website, the USPSA has information on the United States on where to find your local team. Reach out to the organization if you can't find anything, but really get involved with a team is the best way to go about it, because they'll have team practices. They'll kind of guide you, hopefully, in what you need to do, and then getting involved in games, tournaments, and that. So
yeah, how has your training I guess, been affected with COVID and other circumstances and things that are happening now?
Unsurprisingly, very affected. So there was a whole year where the US team didn't do anything. And I had limited access to the gym for, no access for about 6 months. So it wasn't a lot I was doing during then. I was watching film, trying to go out in tennis courts outdoors, which it's okay, but it's not as good as a gym floor, obviously. So yeah, COVID really affected it. But now things are starting to open up, and we had the US team had training camps now. So that's great to get back into, because I missed out a lot on, I mean, when I first started getting back into it, it was like, wow, I didn't think I would be missing so many passes and all of that. But it surprised me how much I lost over those 6 months. Yeah.
Sure. I'm glad to hear it's coming back. Like everything's kind of opening up and stuff again. When I started the show, it was very much a, we don't know what's coming. So there wasn't that answer. It was like, yeah, we're just going to stay home and see what happens. And now it's so great to hear when guests are like, yeah, we can actually go see each other. We had a training camp. So that makes me really happy.
There's not a negative aura on the whole
Yeah.
talking about sports.
Yes. Yes, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, you've done lots of things, obviously, with national team, Premier Cups, America's Cup. Can you tell us some of your, I guess, favorite experiences, competition memories, or just some stories that kind of stick out to you?
I have one that comes up quite frequently. It's an embarrassing story, but it's kind of funny.
Okay.
It was embarrassing at the time. Now it's funny to talk about. I was probably 12, 13 at the time. And we were getting ready for a national tournament in Minnesota. And we had Fox Sports Minnesota there, and they were doing interviews. And so I guess they wanted to interview me. I don't know why. I was 12, but they were probably like, oh, a little cute kid, he can maybe say something. And I didn't know who was interviewing, but when we get ready, my dad points out, oh, hey, that's Dawn Mitchell. Like, oh, you know her? I didn't know who she was, but she's kind of well known in Minnesota. And then I'm like, oh, I'm nervous now. My dad knows who she is. So yeah, then we do an interview where she starts it out by saying, we're just going to talk. We're not going to have the cameras on. We're just going to, get comfortable. And so we're doing that. And, I'm telling her how this is a really competitive sport. A lot of people see it as just very nice that people in wheelchairs are having fun playing sports. But I was trying to tell her, no, this is competitive, and everything like that. And trying to provide, a little bit more competitive atmosphere around power soccer, how people see it. So then she's like, okay, now let's turn on the cameras. I was like, oh crap, this is bad. Oh geez. She's asking questions. I'm doing fine. Then at the end, she asks something like, what are you looking forward to? Or what do you hope for for this tournament? And I meant to say, like, hopefully win, but it came out, have fun, which is the exact opposite of what I was trying to say. So I just have fun. And this is for the TV, and everybody's going to see it. I don't think it aired that part. Hopefully, I don't remember. But
that's so funny. Okay, have fun. Have fun. That's a good one, though, right?
It is, but yeah, I wasn't trying to get that. Yeah, have fun.
Oh, that's so fun, though. That's so young to have an interview like that, too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm hopefully a little better now, but that was pretty nerve-wracking.
Yes. That's funny. I've interviewed an 8-year-old on my show here, and that was super fun too.
Yeah.
Yes, he was very passionate about soccer, which was really exciting. And he did say have fun a lot. So that's great. Cool. Let's see. Let's talk about, I guess, what have you learned about yourself from playing power soccer? Like, how has the sport helped you figure out kind of who you are?
It's taught me a lot of tough lessons that I probably wouldn't have learned without power soccer. Um, One of them being a leader. I've been a bad leader. Never want to do that again. Learned, how not to be a leader, and now it's made me a better leader. It's made me a pretty. I think I see myself as a leader on teams that I am, and in my work life as well. It's taught me to listen, to not just point fingers or assume things, but actually listen to why people do the things that they do, and that's helped me in my career as well. So yeah, there's mistakes that I don't know if I would have come across without power soccer. So it's had a huge impact on my life. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Follow up to that, how does playing it help you with the business side and actually working for the organization?
Uh, it makes me understand what people want to see out of the sport, what the players want to see out of the sport, especially. So it kind of directs me in what I want to do, and it drives my decisions. So, and yeah, this is the first board, USPSA board, that's all players. So that's really cool to see, and we've been a great board. And not to say that other boards haven't been great as well, but it's just brought a different perspective to the organization. So
Definitely, I think that's super unique. I don't think I've ever heard of an organization that has a board that's entirely player led, which I think is really helpful to the players. Like, that's amazing to have the voice there. But
yeah,
it's so cool. I love that. What's keeping you occupied during your off seasons? This is a question that was submitted by our listeners. They want to know how you're filling your time outside of power soccer.
outside of power soccer, yeah, I'm pretty involved. Well, with work, I have a full-time job. I'm an engineer, manufacturing engineer, so that's 40 hours a week, sometimes more. So I do a lot of that. I also play harmonica. It's one instrument that I can play, so I do that a lot. Do a lot of designing things in CAD and engineering. I just like engineering. I'm kind of a nerd like that, so I get a lot of fun out of that. 3D printing. So yeah, I stay busy, but a lot of my time does go to power soccer, and even during off seasons, it's not really off season. I'm either watching film or Team USA has things. So yeah, pretty busy most of the time.
Yeah, I'd say you're pretty busy and your interests are so different. Power soccer, engineering, and harmonica. I never would have guessed.
Yeah. I'm feeding lots of areas of my brain for sure.
Yes. That's so cool. I tried to play the harmonica a few times. My grandpa gave me one, and it was one of those things I was like, I really should learn how to play this because it's cool. Like, I want to be able to say that I can play the harmonica. It did not go well. It really did.
No.
It's not my thing, but I'm very glad to hear it's yours. We might need to have video for our content here.
No, maybe not.
I love it. Cool. Okay, well, you were talking about the national team. So what's next for you in the national team? What's coming up? Do you have tournaments or anything like that we can watch you?
Not really. So we had our qualifiers for the World Cup back in 2019. That was in Brazil. So there's really nothing from qualifiers to the World Cup, and the World Cup's next year, 2022, in October. That'll be in Australia, but there'll be tournaments live streamed for club level play, and then the World Cup will be live streamed as well. So that's where they can watch it. But in the between time, we'll be training. So training, drills, and all of that. So for the next year and a half. Yep.
That's perfect. I'm sure that World Cup will come sooner than we think.
Oh yeah.
Be here before we know it.
Yep.
I'm not sure where the last 8 months of 2021 have gone. So
neither have I. Yeah.
soon. I love that. I love Australia too. I hope you enjoy it there. It's a wonderful place. I know Natalie was talking about in her episode how excited she was because she'd been before and she's so excited to go back. And we're cheering for you guys. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, last question here. I end the shows with advice. So what piece of advice would you give to younger Riley?
That's a good question. Don't say have fun in the interview. That'd be my first one. No. I think I would tell myself, to be grateful for the people that help you. I definitely, when I was younger, took for granted the things that I needed help with, the people that helped me. That's, everybody needs help with things. Some people need more help. And so I wish, definitely be grateful for the people that help you. They're far and few between, and they're even far and fewer between the ones that don't expect things in return. Those are the ones that you really need to thank. So.
For sure. I love that. I love ending on this question too. It's very happy and hopeful.
Yeah.
Hopefully they take that away and listen and go do it.
Right.
But also, well, Riley, thank you for sharing your story. This has been great.
Yeah. Thank you, Aggie. Thank you for having me.
Riley, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story. Stay tuned for another episode of Adventures with Aggie featuring the United States Power Soccer Association on Thursday.